What's up, everyone? Curtis here with another episode of Everything Entrepreneurial. In this episode, I'm speaking with David Henderson. David started his digital design studio, DHD, in 2008 and now operates from two locations, KIlkeel and Belfast. He has a team of 7 designers, developers and digital marketing consultants that work with over 300 clients worldwide. I hope you enjoyed the episode. Now, David, thanks very much for taking the time out of your day to have a chat with us. Could you introduce yourself and tell me a little bit about your business?
Yeah, of course. Curtis, it's great to be here. Thank you for the invitation. So my name is David Henderson. I'm 36-year-old, father of 2, live in Kilkeel, County Down, and I've been running DHD for close to 13 years, which is hard to believe. So kind of studied a quick, I guess, background of what I studied and how I started DHD was I went to uni in Jordanstown, which is University of Ulster, so just outside of Belfast. Back in 2004, studied for 4 years there, a course called Interactive Multimedia Design. During that summer, I guess I was traveling a bit. I was doing a mission trip. I was doing different things. I thought I'm not going to dive into applying for jobs. I'm just going to do a bit of freelance. I'm going to see how it goes. And I did that. I really enjoyed kind of working with people, working with clients, and seeing how that went. Started a job then kind of that September. Didn't really enjoy it. Within the first 3 months, I kind of knew that wasn't a great fit. I'm going to continue with the freelance and see how that goes for a while. So things just ticked along nicely. Anytime I wasn't busy, which to be honest, in the first year or two was quite often, I was just upskilling, learning new things. I had real passion for animation and just getting creative, learning new things in the software and drawings and that kind of stuff, and just really enjoying all aspects of design. The part I didn't really enjoy too much was coding, but I guess fast forward, so that was 2008. Fast forward to 2012, things were getting busier. We got an email, or I got an email at the time. I was still self-employed, asking for more animation work, and that essentially kept me full time for around 3 to 6 months. And all the other stuff was starting to pass me by, and I needed to hire. So that was the start of the growth of the team back in 2012, 2013, taking on my first staff member. Since then, yeah, it's been fantastic, just experience in terms of growth. And we work with clients right across the world, and we deliver branding strategy, so brand identity design, on everything that follows that. So social media, artwork and strategy, web design, web development is kind of a lot of what we do as well. Big focus on that, and then content. So we do photography and videography as well, and we love what we do. We have a fantastic team. We have a team of 6, soon to be 7. So yeah, it's great.
That's
I could
brilliant.
go on, but I think I'll pause there for now.
Yeah, no worries whatsoever. In relation to growing your team, so I run a digital agency myself, and at the start, you're a one-man band, and I had such an interest in not one particular area of digital marketing. I like digital marketing, web design, social media, photography, videography. You were probably the same. I liked it all. So I found myself being like, oh, I'm a one-man band for small businesses. So how do you grow from that? How do you grow a team? How do you get someone who, say, like a photographer or just specialize in videography to come onto the team? How do you grow your team, I suppose?
Sure. Great question. I guess the first thing that needs to happen is there needs to be that demand for the work, right? Uh, every time I went to think about a new start or adding to the team, it's a big decision, because you're kind of going, right, if we bring someone in, even part-time, but especially full-time, you're kind of going, right, I'm committing to this person to provide enough work to have a really good experience that they want to stay here, and also I'm responsible for their livelihood. So it is a big call, but it's a very exciting stage to be at. As I mentioned earlier, there's been multiple times over the last kind of 5-6 years where we've just gone, you know what, guys, we are getting really swamped here. We need extra help. And we have fantastic network of collaborators and freelancers that we call on, people I've known for years at university and people I've met at events and conferences, and I've kept in touch. And sometimes those relationships have developed into becoming a DHD team member, and that's been a really natural way to do it. But more frequently, you know, especially more recently, we've been advertising. So in the last year, I've hired just over, you see, 1, 2, 3, and we're actually advertising for a videographer. So we're about 4 people, and just over a year. So we've grown quite a lot in the last 18 months.
Sorry for cutting across you there. I'm just interested when you said your network has been really important for you to maybe find the talent there. But what about networking in a sense that actually helping you grow your agency and your business?
Yeah, hugely important. Some of our top clients, and what I mean by top is the people we work with most frequently and really enjoy working with, have come through a 30-minute coffee at an event or a conference. I can tell you a couple of stories to illustrate that, but I guess if we go right back to the start again of 2008 and 2009, when I was starting out, I remember kind of just knowing that I can't sit at my desk and expect the emails and the phone calls to just come in. I've got to get out there, I've got to shake hands, I've got to meet people, just learn about the different sectors and industries I want to work with, and just get out there. So I remember jumping on Eventbrite and respond to emails and getting out there to like business networking lunches and breakfasts and all that kind of stuff. I guess across Northern Ireland at the time, and maybe a few south of the border as well, and around Dublin and Dundalk and different places. I really enjoyed that. At the start, it was very nerve-wracking. You're kind of going in, a few business cards in your pocket, and you don't really know what to say or do. But obviously, with experience, the more you do it, the more you get a feel for it, the more natural it becomes, and the more you begin to enjoy it. And that's my experience. Fast forward again to when we started to grow the team. I remember saying to Melissa, my wife, okay, we're starting to bring people in here. I really want to invest in these guys. And one of the ways I think I can do that is by bringing them along to events a couple of times a year, big conferences and things. So I think it was 2013. We went down to the Web Summit in Dublin. And I had a fantastic 3 or 4 days. And again, just some of the meetings there were great. We did that for 5 years on the trot. So 3 years in Dublin and 2 years in Lisbon.
Very good.
And really, really enjoyed it. And we got a lot out of it. So I beg your pardon, it's that way around. 2 years in Dublin and 3 years in Lisbon. And there was 1 year in particular, 2016, where we just met a lot of the clients we still work with today. I don't know why that year was special more than others. It's just kind of, I guess, the way it worked out. But those clients have led on to some amazing opportunities. One particular one I'll tell you about was I was actually with a lot of these new conferences. You have the app and you get direct messages and you can organize meetings. So on the last day, my direct messages kind of took off. I'm not sure why, but I got a lot of messages. We reckon there's something to do with the algorithm that the more you kind of got scanned, right, on your badge, your QR code, it recognized that you like to network with people,
right,
and maybe recommended you to other people to message. But yeah, cut long story short, one of the people I met that day was a lady who ran high school entrepreneur programs in the States. And she had seen from my LinkedIn that I'd I ran workshops and branding and design and social media. And she said, look, we would love some assistance, maybe some of your thoughts and help with this. And I thought, yeah, sure. Like, drop us an email. We'll set up a Skype or Zoom, whatever, and see how I can help. About a month after the conference, around Christmas, I remember getting an email from the same person, and she was asking me, would these dates suit to fly out to speak at MIT in Boston?
Deadly.
So yeah, that was a huge opportunity. And again, I'm just about prepping. Before I came on this call, I'm prepping for my 5th year of talks to these students. And to date, I've spoke to around 1,000 international students through that one coffee, which has led into, I could talk for another hour about where that's gone and the connections that's built. But I've been back and forth to the States every summer, apart from obviously this summer and last summer with going virtual. But amazing opportunities to travel, see different places, meet different people. And it kind of snowballs from there. If you do a good job and you make a good impression with people, they recommend you to their friends and so forth and so forth. So I think that's what I really love about business, is those new relationships and building those new relationships as well.
Yeah, I think the power of networking is just illustrated perfectly in your story there. What one coffee can do, that way it's amazing, really, and it kind of encourages you to get out and network. It definitely inspires me just to think, like, you never know who you're going to meet. You never know what they can actually do for you. Not even directly, indirectly. It's really powerful.
Yeah, totally.
So
it's sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say, when I wanted to shift to maybe some challenges that you experienced starting your business, starting your agency. Could you talk us through what were some of the hardest things that you had to do or overcome or learn through your process?
Yeah, for sure. I think, it's strange to look back and think about the early years when it was just me. I set up a porta cabin in my mum and dad's garden. That's how it all started. And
love it.
It was a very humble set. One monitor, MacBook, and a Adobe Suite, and internet connection. Away we go. I remember those days just kind of enjoying the kind of freedom of being self-employed, of knowing that I can, work whatever times I want, work evenings, and if it's really beautiful weather outside, go and enjoy that and work it later in the day or whatever. But I guess the challenges came, as I mentioned earlier, quite early on, where things go a wee bit quiet and you're kind of going, should this be happening? And I'm sitting at home at the time, a bit like now, everyone else is working from home, but it's different because you've got a team, just on the other end of Slack or a call or Zoom or whatever, and we see each other, of course, once a week now. But in those days, you literally had no one to turn to. In terms of business, you're kind of left to fend for yourself. So you've got to go, right, how do I use my time? Whether it is kind of planning how to get out there and meet the right people, invest in yourself with training and learning new things. And at that time, even back then, it was there was good content out there on YouTube, but it wasn't the go-to, right? You had to almost learn to do it yourself. So I think those were some of my big challenges, just that kind of constant drive to keep going step by step every day, trying to improve what I did, but also learn to navigate the business world alone.
Did you ever experience self-doubt or anything like that? Did you ever experience situations where you need to pull yourself through to the next level?
Yeah, of course. I think we all, I'm 13 years on, I'm now in my mid-30s, and you still have those days where you're kind of, comparing yourself to others. And there's a balance there to be struck. You want to improve, but you've also got to be, content in the fact that you've got your own unique style and a service that people really need and really want and appreciate. So yeah, I think you've got to want to balance that contentment of being thankful for where you are, but also trying to always take it to the next level and increase. What was it? I can't remember the saying, but something along the lines: if you just try to strive to improve by 1% per day or 1% a week, and just that constant, then you're gonna look back over the course of a year and think, "Wow, look where we've come." So
Yeah, that's kind of like compound interest, I suppose, something like that, where if you just pick away at it 1% each day, you never know. You turn around after a year and see where you are, and you're like, Jesus, how the hell did I get here?
exactly, and I think I've seen that just so much in terms of we are so bogged down in the nitty gritty of work, of life, whether it's family life, things outside of work as well, of course. But when you do take a step back and just kind of examine where you're at, a lot to be thankful for. It's like that old saying, just count your blessings and see where you're at, and then keep going, keep motoring on. There's a lot still to do.
Mm. And tell me a little bit about your support network in relation to your family and friends. Were they very supportive when you were starting your business?
Totally. I mean, one of the first things that kind of springs to mind when I think about the idea of starting out, I remember again having lots of conversations with my girlfriend, now my wife at the time, Melissa, and she was a real encouragement. She said, "Look, go for it. What's the worst going to happen? Now's a good time to do it." And you know what? The reality was, I was starting out in summer 2008, into kind of really going for it in September of that year. By October, the UK was in recession, and you're kind of going, "This is the best time to take out a business loan and start a business." But you're just what you say there with families, the backing of family and friends, people who really encourage you, is so important. And even at the time, I talked about networking earlier. I remember meeting someone who was just giving me some business advice, and slightly older than me, not a lot older than me, but had a few more years behind them. And they were saying, encouraging me, actually, it's a really good time to start a business in the middle of a recession, or at the very start of a recession, because what they were saying, what you'll find is you're probably going to learn through the tough times what it is. So it'll be belt and braces time. You'll kind of start with quite a frugal outlook on how to use your spending wisely. You'll not just splash it on different things, but also knowing that your client will have a tight budget to give them the best value. And that was a really positive outlook on a difficult time. And we're just hopefully we're coming through the end of another difficult period. And I think we've still got to take the positives of that now, and we understand too, a lot of our clients and friends and family have been affected in terms of business in a very negative way in the last 18 months. But we look at that situation and think, well, how can we support them? Just like your question at the start, I mean, who were the people that supported me at that time when I was starting out? Can we be that person now? And whether it's just drop someone a message, see how they're doing, give a bit of advice here and there. One of the things we've done that's very, very simple, but offer spread payments, just to kind of go, look, we usually do 50-50, or we usually take a lump sum at the start of a project, kind of acknowledge the fact that it's been a tough year and see how we can help people as well.
Yeah, that's nice. It's a nice, I get a nice sense of community off you, like community and family and friends are very important to you. A question that I'd like to ask you as well would be, how did you manage your first child coming into the world and your business? Because I'm going to be experiencing that very soon. Within the next 4 weeks or so, 5 weeks, we'll be having our first child. So if you could tell me your experience on managing your business and your first child, especially as self-employed, because you don't get like paternity leave or anything like that. So I can imagine it's quite difficult.
Yeah, well, congratulations. Very exciting.
Thank you.
So yeah, Joel was born 2013. So we were kind of, I guess, 5 years into the my business at that stage. And to be honest, that was when things were really kicking off. Okay, so I had just took on my first employee. Now, given that there was a funding opportunity, I mean, I grabbed it with both hands. It was a really good opportunity to take someone on for a year and see how it went. So it was a transitional year for so many reasons. In terms of the first big step in business, we were doing a lot more work in the States and internationally that year as well. But I look back on those days with fond memories, and I think, you know, nothing can prepare you for being a dad, and a first time dad at that. So you've got to go for it and just, you know, enjoy the moments leading up to that moment, and of course when the baby arrives. I think what I did from memory, I took a week off, and now my home was right beside my porta cabin. We lived just across from my parents, and it was very tempting just to slip back in and do a bit here and there. It allowed me to check in on my new employee, because it was like, felt, you know, he's just literally around the corner here, you know. So but those moments, those days were precious, and I do I'm thankful that I did take the time off, because you won't get those back again. But the deadlines and the clients will always be there in some way, shape or form. And people are very understanding. I think that's one of the things I've learned about business is when you take the time to reach out to clients and say, look, this is what's happening in my life. You know, there's a big change coming up and I want to be there for my family. People respect that and appreciate that, and will give you the time you need. So just, I think, keep the communication lines open and then do what you need to do. You'll not regret putting family first.
100%, David, that's it. And so switching it back to you then, I suppose, what's the next 6 to 12 months for yourself looking like, maybe personal and business? Do you have any big plans, new projects?
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, there's a lot I could talk about, but I guess focusing back in on our team. So, and then I'll talk a wee bit maybe about just kind of personal plans. We have a growing team at the minute, as I mentioned, we're a team of 6, soon to be 7, with a new UI UX designer called Lucy joining us in July. And as I mentioned, we are hiring for another videographer, which is exciting, and hopefully later in the summer or start of early autumn to bring that new person in. So a lot of my time is spent on kind of looking forward and thinking, do we have the right people in the right places, and making sure my current team are happy, and kind of working on the business rather than in the business. I do occasionally get to design. Earlier this week, I was working on a new logo brand identity for a new client, and that was great fun to kind of spend some time, just turn off emails, turn off Slack, get the music on and do 2 hours straight of design. That was a really treat for me. Get away from the emails and the admin and all that kind of stuff. So there is that balance. I still try to keep my hands dirty in the sense of keeping creative, keep designing, and of course fantastic sessions with my guys, reviewing what they've done and casting my eye over stuff before it goes live or goes out to the client. So exciting times ahead, lots of new clients coming on board, and a growing team. Personally, lots going on as well. My brother is getting married at the end of the month.
Very good.
Nice. Yeah, and so that's exciting, with a family wedding on the horizon. But also my sister-in-law, so Melissa's sister, is also getting married the day before.
Oh, so, hangover central.
Yeah, so that's going to be a lot of fun and something to look forward to. 2 weddings, 2 days, going to be pretty intense, but got a lot of fun, and just looking forward to obviously some time off later in the summer as well with the family, if we can get some good weather. No international travel this summer again for us. We'll probably stay quite close to home, and then beyond that, again, just kind of looking at the kind of work situation. I'm really looking forward to in-person events again. I think there's talk of some some of our clients who run conferences are talking about an in-person event in September in London, outdoors in a park. So that should be fun. And things like Web Summit coming back to Lisbon in person in November. So we're kind of keeping a close eye on that one. If all is good, then we may start investing in that again and getting out there.
Very nice. Well, David, if anyone wants to find you or your business online, where is the best place to find you?
Yeah, of course. So we're across social. Use We Are DHD. If I just that could be back front, but you see the hashtag there.
Very nice.
That's not back to front for you, right? That should be.
No,
fine.
That's perfect. Yeah.
Just ignore all the boxes and the empty office over there. So yeah, you'll see at We Are DHD. We're very active on Instagram. We're on Twitter, all the usuals, Facebook. Search DHD on LinkedIn. I'd love to as well for people to connect with me on LinkedIn personally as well. I'm more than happy to do that. And you'll see all our websites and different things from those socials.
Brilliant. Well, once again, David, thanks very much for your time. I appreciate you. And have a nice day.
You too, Curtis. Thank you. Bye.